chapter 3 echoes Jesus' words, and he says, "Do not be surprised, my brothers and sisters, if the world hates you. Persecutions are inevitable." Race car drivers should expect some crashes. Football players should expect injuries. Baseball players are going to get hit by the ball sometimes. Soldiers are going to be shot at. And Christians should also expect some degree of persecution that's going to come your way. Don't be surprised, Timothy. It'll happen. Then he continues on here and he says, "But as for you, continue in what you have learned and have become convinced of, because you know those from whom you learned it, and how from infancy you have known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith in Christ Jesus." I love this part, because this is like, first there's remembrance and now there's continuance. And he's kind of beginning to kind of bring these two together. And he's like, "Timothy, now that you have remembered all that I've been through, all that we've been through, now you need to keep the faith. You need to continue to remain strong. Remember all the miracles that God worked in my life, how God has rescued me from all those persecutions. Now continue in what you've seen. Continue in what you've learned from me." In 2 Timothy chapter 1, where we kind of did this, it was a part of our first part of the series, Paul was doing this same thing again. He's reminding Timothy of his foundation. And he said, "I'm reminded," he even uses the word, "of your sincere faith, which first lived in" who? Your grandma, Lois, and your mom, Eunice. "And I am persuaded that now lives in you." You see, Paul was like a spiritual father to Timothy. He helped train and mentor him. He had poured into Timothy's life. He'd spent countless hours investing in this young pastor. He'd never given up on him. But before Timothy ever partnered up with Paul, he was invested by two other people in his life. Two other people that I think that we would all agree probably made all the difference. It was a faithful grandma and a faithful mom. Right? That was the foundation that Timothy needed, and Paul built on that. And here we kind of circle back, and Paul's reminding him of that. Remember those early days? Remember those foundations? Remember even me and kind of how we partnered in ministry? Keep the faith. Keep the faith. But as for you, he says, continue in what you have learned. Today I want to close by giving you an opportunity to practice remembrance and continuance. I'm going to ask the praise team to come up, and we're going to close with a song this morning. And I know right now you guys aren't even listening to me because you're like, "I can't believe it. Paul just did like a 32-minute sermon. This is like unbelievable." And now you're praying that I'll be tired more often is what's happening. But so I want you to kind of push that all out of your mind for a second, and I just want you to think about this idea of remembrance and continuance. Here's a question I want us to focus on in these next few moments. Who has been influential in your spiritual growth? What I mean by that is, without this person, you would not be where you are today. Think about that. Without this person, you would not be where you are today. I think there's something so powerful about remembering those individuals and the stories of those who personally helped you to follow Jesus. It's their faith, it's their example, it's their attitudes and their actions in my life that have fueled my continuance in the gospel. I do what I do today because of faithful men and women who went before me and poured into my life. They were faithful, and now I am faithful because of their example and because of God's goodness, right, and blessing within my life. A few people that I'll share with you as you're thinking about that individual. Hopefully you're thinking of several that are kind of coming into your mind. And we're going to take a second as we sing this song to be thankful to the Lord for those special people that he's placed within our life. For me, it's my dad. I observed his life as a faithful pastor, and I can tell you this for sure, who never gave up. Was ministry easy? No. Did he face some pretty hard times? Yeah. Never gave up. It's my remembrance of his faithfulness that fuels my continuance. And he was faithful. I think of Glenn Brookbank, passed away in his 90s. Some of you have been a part of our church for a while. You know Glenn, as soon as I say it. This patriarch, right, of our church. Glenn in his 90s was passionate about preaching and teaching to a younger generation because he knew that this group of kids are coming into the church and we need to pour into their life. I faithfully continue what I've been called to do because Glenn did it. And I remember Glenn's story and his influence. Lonnie Miller, one of the greatest evangelists that I know. The man's unstoppable. He's not here today. I'll yell at him later for it. Maybe he'll be here for the second service. Unreal. Because of his faithfulness throughout the years, I can continue on in ministry. My mom, my wife, my kids. There's even younger people that can reverse mentor to us older adults. Rini, new guy in our church, just gave him a Bible today, a study Bible. Right? Our church donated a study Bible to him. He is hungering for the word and growing like a weed. Right? It's unreal, and he's fueling my continuance in the gospel. Let's close today as we sing this song, thinking of those people who've invested in us to bring us to where we are today.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We'll live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder
It's been really good to worship with each of you this morning. I give you a challenge as you leave today. Think of those people again who've reminded you to continue on. And I would encourage you to call them if they're still alive. I encourage you to write them a letter, send them a text message. I did that just last night. And just send a quick little message to somebody who has encouraged you to keep the faith. And then the next part of that challenge is now you think about someone else who you can bring along as you're pouring into their life. And one day they'll be able to circle back and say thank you for your faithfulness. All right. Make sure you say bye to Jeremiah. And don't forget, Dustin's getting on a plane, I think, in just about 30 minutes, right? So say bye to Dustin. We're glad to see him today, this morning as well. Have a great rest of your morning. We love you.